Here we go. Okay.
Alright.
Megan's our host, Megan Farnsworth, your classmate.
Alright. So I was explaining we have a rain garden over here. It collects stormwater runoff from the parking lot in the area. I forget. I think it's about an acre. The watershed might be an acre big. So the runoff goes into there, and then where it collects about 1 inch of rainfall, and so that'll infiltrate into the ground and evapotranspirate. So we have 7 groundwater monitoring wells that surround the site, and we use that to monitor the groundwater levels, and we're trying to figure out how much of the runoff ends up going to the groundwater table and how much is being used, like contributes to evapotranspiration.
Can I interrupt here for a second?
Yeah.
I assume they calculate that by our RISE method. You remember that? And it would assume that there was no regional flow contribution to the groundwater rise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's checked that, but I would definitely check that as part of anyone's research effort. In other words, if there's groundwater recharging from slightly, it just has to be slightly upgraded. It could contribute to the rise as well. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to work it for a while? There you go.
Alright, so I'll open up this bag here.
Yeah, this is a flush mount well. This is pretty typical in urban areas where people might trip over stick lights.
We have a number of these at the sites in Philadelphia that we have with the Philadelphia Water Department.
Okay.
They're all flush mounted like this.
Oh. Can someone grab that blue bag?
Yeah, we
Thank you.
installed many flush mount wells. Now in ag areas, if you have a well in an ag area, they typically want to see the sticky.
Yeah, we have, because they're all in the grassy area. This actually used to be grass too. They decided to make them all flush mount because
Yeah.
when they were mowing the lawn,
Yeah.
they didn't want to get in the way.
They're safer too. You
Yeah.
never know when the kid's going to be messing around.
So we got the well going down there. I have a sensor in there that is taking continuous data. So I don't know if I can take it off. So,
Is it? We're not going to break it.
Is it just like bullet
yeah,
though?
it's just a cap. I just installed it, so it might
Yeah,
kind of. We can go to another well too if we can't get it off.
I mean,
I forgot this one was like that. Don't hurt yourself, because we can. Another one doesn't have the cap on it, so we can see. down
okay.
it.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Can you hold this for a second? Pretty.
yeah,
I can't even try because I can't bend down enough. Well,
this is like the sword and the stone.
Looks like there's a screw or something.
oh, your video in this cool. There you
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Jerry's
Pull
the
it, don't
chosen
pull it all
one.
the
Is
way
that
up.
Excalibur?
You guys listen to chosen engineer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it looks like. It goes down 30... Cheat. This one goes down 36 feet.
36 feet to the water table?
I think it's only about 20 feet to the water table.
Okay.
But it goes down. I
Right.
think it goes down to the bedrock.
Right. I wanted to remind everybody, especially the out-of-town people, yeah, we're in the Piedmont there, and I meant to ask you that, Megan, before
Actually-
we started. Like, how far is it to bedrock? Because we're dealing with
Yeah. Actually,
sediment,
I
right?
printed out some cross sections
Oh,
of the
nice,
area.
nice.
You guys want to pass me?
So we got. I can't really see that far.
Yeah, they're kinda
How much unconsolidated sediment do we have?
All of this is silty sand and sandy silt, and then so it's
The bedrock's the bricks.
yeah. So it's about 5, 10,
Okay.
15, 20, 25.
So we got
feet.
25, 30 feet of unconsolidated sediment to bedrock, and I assume that the bedrock is permeable, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Right. So but the water table's above the bedrock, which is really nice for your for putting these wells in, right?
Yeah. If you guys
Thank
wanted
you.
to look at,
Sure.
I don't know, the process. There's two different ones.
Nice.
Two different
Thank you.
stuff.
And we got a continuous well in there. And how often do you download the data?
Every couple of months, I take it off there every couple months because it has an internal data logger, but it records the level every 15 minutes.
15 minutes. That was my next
Yeah.
question. So you're.
Actually, I brought out the cable if you wanted to see the.
Oh, I'm okay. It depends on what.
Yeah.
Are you some kind of facilities manager or just a grad student that works out here? Or?
Yeah, I'm the graduate student that's in charge of the site, just like generally overseeing it. But Villanova Facilities helps like take care of the
Now,
planting and stuff. But I'm the one who like collects all the data and manages all the data here.
this is just a point of curiosity, not necessarily a hydrology question, but is that part of your graduate assistantship as well? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to
No,
have
yeah,
slave labor. You know?
I get paid to do
Those
that.
days are over. Those days are over.
She's getting paid.
Not a lot. But
Yeah.
No,
A living
enough-
wage, I guess.
Enough to get by.
Right. Not a lot's not the issue.
Getting,
Yeah, when I was a student, people
Get my
used to do
classes paid
things for
for.
just
For the common good.
yeah, I guess so. They don't get kicked out. Right.
Yeah, this site's funded by the DEP 319 grant. So
Nice.
yeah, this and the wetlands
How
are
did the office in Norristown or Harrisburg?
Harrisburg. I
Probably
think?
Harrisburg, yeah.
I think we sent our paperwork to Harrisburg.
So,
Yeah, we got. Where's the level sensor over here? If we wanted to
yeah, let's get a
confirm
water.
how far down.
Let's
it
get a
goes.
water level measurement. So if you're being a stickler, I assume these were surveyed in, like it's a research site.
Yeah.
So the,
Yeah, I have
the measuring point from sea level or land.
the surface elevations are all here.
Okay.
I
so-
think they're based off sea level.
Right. So right, these wells have been surveyed, and the datum is sea level. Because we got numbers on the order of 450 or so, and that's about where we are.
So this has a casing that goes all the way down to bedrock, I guess. Is that how it works?
Just the PVC pipe goes all the way down to the bedrock, and then this part up top is just
I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
I'm 90% certain that the well was drilled to bedrock with a drill rig, like a rotary drill rig that would be good for unconsolidated sediment. And they didn't have to go below bedrock because the water table is probably always above bedrock. So there's no reason to, unless they're monitoring a groundwater flow in the bedrock. Which I don't think that's what's going on here. Now, if the well had to go through bedrock, you'd have to switch over to a different drilling technique. Now, we're not talking about that too much in this class. Drilling techniques.
And this pipe has perforations in it all the way down?
Probably not. It's probably an OBS well, and it probably has a 2-foot screen.
no, it's at the bottom. Right?
What's that?
That would be all the way at the bottom.
Right. The screen would typically be at the bottom. And the reason for that is that you don't want the screen to go dry. If it goes dry, you're not going to be able to monitor the water level. So, yeah, it might be a 5-foot screen. It might be a 10-foot screen. The longer the screen, the longer the screen interval, the less of a point measurement it is. And for example, you would be able to use a 10-foot screen here to monitor any vertical component of the flow, which would be very difficult to do anyway. And I got a better answer to your question the other day regarding the 2D assignment. I didn't really understand what you were asking, but I think I did. Okay. I feel like we're heathens worshiping some stone god or something. But yeah, something that's it's a
Oh, it's that'll fit.
That'll fit around it.
It's a pretty special thing having an observation well. It's just a hole in the ground, but it is a special thing.
If it does get in the way, we can pull the other one off.
And so when you say there's a screen at the bottom, is that like just like a filter type of?
Um,
And then the water just comes up and through.
it's screened. It's screened,
Oh, okay.
and there's typically a gravel pad to kind of protect or to keep silt from getting into the screen and clogging the well. Some kind of coarse sand or gravel pad. Now you wouldn't have that in a rock well because you wouldn't be able to install the gravel. But here, the drilling technique.
So what is the depth reading? Like
A diameter of maybe this of auger. And the auger power
20.9 feet.
install stuff and pull it out.
20.9 feet to the top of the PVC pipe.
Yep.
Cool.
It's difficult to picture unless you've actually seen it. But, you know, I'll answer any questions.
Okay, that's enough. Concept.
So he put his thumb on the top of the casing, right? I kind of missed that. And that's the measuring point.
Yeah, it was 20.9 feet to the top of the PVC pipe.
Right, so we're about 21 feet below land is the water table. And that has something to do with the fact that we're 400 and some feet above sea level. And, that, you know, there's different drainage areas on the campus. But
So this is the surface. This is not.
where's the stream going? Where's the nearby stream? Is there one?
Actually,
There's one that goes down there, right?
what?
There's a small creek over there.
Yeah. I believe so.
You could actually see the relief, you know, if you kind of try to level your head out.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the crest over there is the top of a watershed. Like
Right.
the whole, like Villanova on the other side is all a different watershed.
Right.
Oh, that goes to Mill Creek.
Oh,
And then do
that's
you know
cool.
where
That's
where
cool.
this goes?
Darby Creek?
Darby Creek?
If you look at those trees, it's hard to do, but your head is like 1/3 up the tree height instead of at the ground surface.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's all kind of sloping that way.
Well, yeah. I guess you don't have to take a graduate course in groundwater to know that water flows downhill, but downhill is head, not elevation. So we know that now. Otherwise, you'd never be able to pump water out of a well. Right. But a stream's a different story. That's mostly elevation changes. Wow, this is awesome. Thank you.
Is there anything else you wanted to look at?
Um,
We could look at the live data if you wanted. The sensor, we measure conductivity, temperature, and depth.
oh, cool.
And then we used to have another set of sensors that also measured, I think TSS or TDS and
Total dissolved
salinity
solids.
and pH conductivity. Yeah.
Now,
But we only really pay attention to conductivity and temperature for stormwater purposes.
right, and the conductivity for rainwater would be higher than groundwater. Is that correct?
In the winter usually, because when they use salt on the ground and stuff. So, one of our graduate students who graduated last year, she was looking into conductivity in the groundwater compared to conductivity in the rain garden, trying to see if the salt that was used during the winter and snow was going to impact the groundwater table.
Right now, the conduct. I actually know a lot
Yeah.
about water
Okay.
quality. I just don't get a chance to teach it. But I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
The conductivity has a natural component too. It's
Okay.
the salt adds to
Yeah.
it, obviously, but there's a background conductivity depending on the mineralogy.
Okay.
Conductivities tend to be very low in natural quartzy, like coastal plain type sediments, and in more carbonate and where there's more mineral with higher solubility, the conductivity, because the conductivity depends on the ion content of the water. So dissolved solids is a measure of non-specific ions, right? So like you could spend more money and get chloride, sodium, carbonate, potassium, and so on and so on. But total dissolved solids is like an overall measure of what's in there that's ionic. You don't want to see too many suspended solids at groundwater. Typically you wouldn't, unless there's some really large fracture out there. Megan, do you mind giving us an overview of everything that's going on here, not just the groundwater levels?
Oh yeah, just all the other monitoring we have.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, maybe if it's not too extensive a list of who's doing what, you know, students, teachers.
Oh, just like I Villanova in general.
Yeah,
Okay. So
Specific to this site.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, since
Okay.
we're standing here, right.
well, here, so I'm the graduate student that's kind of in charge of the oversee of the rain garden, and we have a lot of different sensors that are put in all throughout the rain garden over there. The ground monitoring wells are just one aspect of the research. We have pressure transducers in the pond and in one of the stormwater inlets that measure the water levels during storm events when this is ponded. We have multiple soil moisture sensors in the ground within the pond to track how the water is moving through the soil within the rain garden media. We have the rain gauge with the spiky stuff on top over there, so that's monitoring the real-time rain
It's
data.
to keep the birds off the gate.
Yeah. We take temperature readings to just so when you're looking back at the data, you can see when freezing over might have happened, which could affect the groundwater levels. We also track water quantity, so we try to test the water quality 12 times per year, so once a month. During rain events, we'll come out and collect samples from the pond while it's raining. We collect the first flush off of the pavement. We collect, we use pore water samplers, which grab water from the soil using suction throughout the storm at different depths. And we also collect the overflow, and then we take that back to our lab where we test for different kinds of nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
The lab is on campus, you don't ship it out?
Yeah, it's next to
Is that the engineering or
the,
chemistry?
it's the
or
old chemical engineering building.
or
It's
who
across
oversees
from-
the lab?
We have a lab manager for the Villanova Urban
In civil
Stormwater.
engineering?
Yeah.
For
Oh, that's pretty cool.
specific to the water resources
Yeah, that's
department.
pretty good.
Yeah, all of the master students kind of play a role in testing the storms, you know, kind of all share a part of the effort. Not just this site, but all the other sites on campus and some off-site.
Right, yeah, there's
Yeah, there's
one.
the
Campus sites.
wetlands. We used to test the green roof. We have
That's it, yeah.
we have some sites in Philadelphia as well, and we have a site in Narberth and Abington around here. So we have them all over the area. So
Yeah.
we test water quality for a lot of different stormwater sites.
It's a pretty nice setup.
Mhm.
I've only been adjunct. I've never directly participated. I've been on a couple student committees, but how this place has grown over the past 10 to 15 years is really nice. I give a lot of credit to Dr. Traver, who's probably been the main senior person pushing all this. So,
But everything we got going on in there
what's the
sounds about right.
what's the thing right in the middle of the
Oh,
pond?
in the middle. So that's where we have a pressure transducer and bubbler. So they're two different water
for
level
the surface water.
sensors. So they just connect into that box, and then we have another. There's a logger box behind this blue sign where all of the sensors connect in. So they connect into a data logger, which then uses a radio to talk to one of the computers on campus, so we can real time watch everything.
How is the volume measured?
Um,
Of runoff or
we
flow
measure
through or
we measure the inflow into the rain garden using the curve number method with the rainfall data, and then we have a weir at the overflow with the pressure transducer. So that's how we calculate the outflow.
is it a V weir or yeah,
Yeah, we can go over and look at it too if
that'd be
you're
nice.
interested.
V-notch.
The
Yeah.
V-notch wheels are pretty accurate because it's a, for a small stream. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rain garden only overflows typically after 1-inch storms.
1 inch, which we might get tomorrow.
Yeah, which we got over the weekend too. But they don't happen too often, maybe a handful of times a year.
It only rains 40, 45 inches a year, so an
Yeah.
inch,
That's a
an
lot.
inch. And I used to take care of my lawn. I used to, and agriculture in general, a dense plant like a maintained lawn, requires about an inch of rain a week during the growing season. So that's why you have to irrigate stuff like that.
Do you want to go and see the
Yeah,
inlet?
sure.
We can leave all this stuff here.
Okay.
Yeah, we have another well right here. Tracking us closer to the rain garden. What was that?
Who was the facilities person before you? What percentage of you guys take the groundwater course? Roughly.
I mean, there's been a handful over the years that have. Stephanie Molina and Taylor Del Vecchio took it last time we taught it, and they're in
Yeah.
the program now. They were undergraduates at the time.
Okay, but it's not 50%, right? It's like,
Probably a
What?
little less.
I'm not going to answer. 20%?
Maybe, yeah. So this is the inlet.
The inlet?
Yeah. So water, all the runoff from the road comes in over there or in through here off the road. And then the weir redirects it all to go into the rain garden through a pipe on that side. So then once the rain garden reaches 1.5 feet deep, then it goes over the weir and enters the traditional stormwater system. And we have a bottle down there because we're going to test the storm that's happening tonight.
So the water goes down?
Yeah, so the water washes off the road, comes into here, and then it goes through the pipe
Yeah.
over there.
The white one?
Oh no, this black one that's pointing in towards the rain garden. And then you can see the pipe actually over there where it goes into the garden.
Oh,
And then once then it kind of like equalizes in between the box and in the pond, and then once it reaches the like maximum depth in there, then it flows this way back to the regular storm system. Just goes back to the sewers and to the creek. And then we got our pressure transducer hiding under the leaves to measure the water depth.
So the
And I get to go in there and dig out all the leaves when it fills up too much.
maintenance doesn't do
Yep.
any of that?
Nope, that's me. They're scared of breaking all of our sensors.
Yeah, that's a cop out.
No, I mean, we get mad at them. They've broken plenty
Yeah,
of sensors
okay.
over the years.
All right,
Oh,
so-
really?
We actually had a well that one of our pressure transducers fell down and got lost, so we had to discontinue using that well. Because it was directly connected into the logger, and they cut the wire.
Another side note, is this like dormitory areas or what's
Yeah,
what's
they're
going on?
they're apartments for the juniors on campus, juniors and seniors. Got the soccer field.
You guys realize this is a really nice place to be, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When he turns the camera on, it is really nice here. It really
So
is.
if we go there, we see the like water pond.
I don't know. Actually, no, it's
Right.
over there.
No.
The railroad tracks are right there. That's like R5, R100.
Used to be R5.
Yeah.
And they renamed
Regional
them.
rail. Oh, they're not called that anymore.
They were. The
Yeah.
reason was they thought they were confusing out of town people and
Yeah.
new people. Like where the R5 goes, but nobody else does.
Yeah.
So this overflow goes to the stream down there.
Yeah, it connects into the regular sewer system, but then I'm pretty sure it lets out at the stream. Yeah. but I've never actually seen the stream, so
Yeah, you can shut it
Down
off.
there
That's long
somewhere.
enough.
Okay.
How long is it total? Am I going to
25 minutes.